Hello, everybody. Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest. Ryker, the regular season is over.
Playoffs are
We
upon
know
us.
we know our playoff matchup. We are facing the Washington Wizards, and we're about to give you guys a breakdown on what we think is going to happen, our previews, predictions for the series.
Yes, perhaps prediction for the entire Eastern Conference playoff landscape too. But we'll start with the Raps versus the Wizards, and I think possibly this is the best situation we could be in going into the first round. I thought that the Bucks would be disastrous for us to play in the first round, given their size sort of outmatches us, and the Raptors traditionally start very slow. It also is apparent that the Heat could have been a little too aggressive to play against in the first. Let's say that without delving into it too much.
Yeah.
Now we are 2-2 against the Wizards, so with that being said, based off regular season, it could go either way. What are your thoughts?
Well, the Washington Wizards, the first thing I want to say, if I told you at the beginning of the season that we'd have to face the Washington Wizards in the first round and then the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round, obviously if we beat the Wizards, that we had to play them in the playoffs, you would have thought we were a 5th or 4th seed.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But we're the 1 seed. We're playing the Wizards first round, and the Wizards are a very talented team. They've been great the past 4-5 seasons, as we have as well. But they really just haven't been themselves this year. I know John Wall was injured for a long time, but they're really coming into this playoffs as like a beaten team.
Yeah, they're like an old Ford Mustang with a bad engine that needs to be replaced. They've been working out of the same system, essentially the same roster now for a long time, and it's just starting to catch up with them. They had a spurt when John Wall got injured that they actually started facilitating the ball. They were the number 1 team in the league for assists. He comes back. Of course, he's a 10 assist per game player, but is he passing because he's making the right unselfish pass, or does he only want to be the person that directly contributes, right? Is he a guy that wouldn't mind giving the hockey assist? And it's shown in the last 10 games, they're only 3-7. And I think a large part is due to their superstar player being a little too selfish with the ball.
Yeah, the Wizards kind of have a bit of what the Raptors had, especially before the season, where they rely on their backcourt so heavily to get them buckets to create everything. And it's really costing them this season, especially where Wall's been out. And I think a part of that, too, their 3-7 stretch down the stretch has been John Wall's just trying to get back into action, getting healthy. I really don't think that we should take the Wizards lightly, but I think it should be a very favorable series for the Toronto Raptors.
Okay, favorable. However, there's always been a Raptors killer in every playoffs since the Raptors have started making the playoffs. Give me a hot take right now. Is it going to be Bradley Beal? Is it going to be John Wall? Is it going to be Michael Scott? Or is there going to be no Raptors killers? Are the Raptors going to run away with it in 4?
I think a sweep is possible. Now that might be too
No. I want that hot take. Spit it raw.
Yes, but I guarantee you Bradley Beal will have at least 3 monster games in the series. He always goes off against the Toronto Raptors, and Otto Porter will also have himself a game where he probably drops 25, goes 5 for 6 from the 3-point line, shuts down DeMar. Everyone thinks he's a god, and the Raptors are going to blow the playoffs. I think that's expected as Raptors fans. That stuff is going to happen. I don't know, but I think the Raptors should be able to manage the storm, and I think we are best equipped this season to deal with those crazy games from Bradley Beal type players, those guys that go off, because we have such a well-rounded roster that if Bradley Beal starts outperforming DeMar, Fred and DeLon can pick him up.
Now, last game of the season for the Raptors, Wayne Ellington, bench player, ended up being the only person on the team that scored, and that was enough to take down the Raptors. So I wouldn't count out a one-time performance being enough to oust a more well-rounded team, but that's yet to be seen. A point that I want to make on the Wizards, the Raptors have still yet to win the first game of any first-round playoff series. Will it happen this season? We have home court advantage if we were successful enough to make it all the way to the finals. We have home court advantage right up until that matchup. Can this year be the year that we actually capitalize and win that first game?
Ryker?
Yep.
We got a hot take right now.
Yep.
this will be the season that the Toronto Raptors win Game 1 at home. For the first time in franchise history, I think the Raptors are going to go out there. Dwayne Casey's going to say, no more of this crazy stuff, losing Game 1s. I think we're going to take Game 1 this series. That might be the hottest take of the playoffs.
Yeah, perhaps.
The Raptors will win a Game 1.
And you know what? I'll add on to that and say, you know what? I think Masai Ujiri needs to calm it down. I don't think he needs to use any vulgar language. I don't think he needs to pop out into Jurassic Park and amp the fans up. The fans are already amped up. We want to win the Eastern Conference this year. They already know the stakes that are on the line. A bit of humility, I think, would be nice this season. We're the first seed. We don't need to inspire the team to go out and win. They should take that onus upon themselves and dominate. That's my opinion. Yeah. Correct me if you think I'm wrong.
He's been pretty good the past 2 years. The last time he did it was actually against Washington.
Okay, well, there you go. It's that revenge matchup. Yeah. But, okay, we both agree that Wizards will probably beat. That means we're moving into the Cavaliers. Yeah. What do you think about the Cavaliers? This is probably going to be the main issue of the entire playoffs for the Raptors.
I'm of the belief that we can beat the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay, but we're not talking the could shoulds and woulds. We're talking the wills. All right, what will happen? Mm-hmm. What's your hot take on that?
I think we're gonna get it.
Okay, how many games?
Game 7.
7 games.
Game 7 at home.
7 games at home, and we're beating the Cavaliers.
Yeah, that's happening.
All right, what makes you say that?
We've been absolutely ridiculous this season at home. The Toronto Raptors just seem like they don't lose on their home court. Now, obviously, when we had a lull at the end of the season, but we bounced back from that. I don't see Cleveland Cavaliers beating us. I think we can get a game on the road. I don't see them beating us 3 out of 4 times on the road. The one time we played Cleveland at home this season, we won by 30 points.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. So wait, we only played 1 game against Cleveland at home?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And the 2 games we lost on the road were by about 2 and 3 point games.
Okay. Now we see LeBron. I mean, LeBron's team lost the last 2 games of the season. I would argue that they purposely lost so that they could face the Raptors in the second round. You don't believe that they purposely lost the 76ers game. You think that LeBron just choked in the final free throws. Now, LeBron unarguably is the playoff GOAT. He is a crazy man, and their 7 or 8 game win streak before they lost the last 2 was because LeBron darn near got a triple-double every game, 40-point triple-double every game, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to be hard to slow him down.
Yep.
And we'll just put it at that. It's going to be hard to slow him down, and despite the Raptors being the number 1 seed and the Cavaliers being the 4th seed, the odds are about -1,000,000 on the Raptors actually winning, right? So if you're a true Raps fan, you think they'll win, put a bit of money down on it because you're sure to turn a profit. But this is the issue that I have. Playoff LeBron is hard to stop. And to borrow perhaps some name-calling from Trump's campaign, we got Derpy DeMar and Clunky Kyle. Neither of them have ever performed in the playoffs. What we need to see if we want to win is for them to actually be the superstars that the team needs. And that's just bottom line.
I think it's a stretch to say that Kyle Lowry and DeMar have never performed in the postseason.
They've never performed against the... Okay, well, no. It's even a fair assessment to make. We lost against the Wizards, right? We lost against a bunch of bad first-round matchups, and then in
2015 and 2014.
Yeah, and then
we had Gravis Vasquez and Lou Williams playing defense.
I get it. The team is better. The team is better, right? But what I'm saying is the last 2 times that we played the Cavaliers, and I'll grant you that the system was completely different. It was reliant upon iso ball for Kyle and DeMar, right? But they weren't able to do iso ball in the playoffs. And I think if they revert to that, which games are going to be close, so there is going to be them needing to perform in the isolation, they need to step up, right? It's not the last game of the season against the Heat. They had a couple opportunities to strike. They didn't capitalize. And that's what we need to see in a 7-game series. Consistency. That's the biggest thing. And then playing with the team, of course.
Yeah. I think saying that they haven't performed in the playoffs is a bit of a stretch. I disagree with that statement. As Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan have had big games, have performed well, but I think you hit the nail on the head with consistency. Those 2 players need to at least give you 20 points a night, or be doing everything to make the team better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've had big games and they've performed when they needed to, especially in the Heat and the Pacers series, and in a couple of games against the Cavs in 2016 against the Bucks. Like they've had playoff success. It's just we've also had that Game 3 against the Bucks last season where they just did not show up.
Yeah.
Or the first I guess Kyle Lowry played well in the first 2 games against the Cavs last season, but then he got hurt and then we were at home and couldn't get the W's. So I think we just need consistency from our top 2 guys, and the bench mob, even if they do take a little bit of a hit in the playoffs, we need them to be the bench mob.
Yep. Yeah.
And finally,
yep.
The X factor for this playoffs, we have a couple. But the first one is CJ Miles. That man needs to start hitting his threes. He's been awful down the stretch of the season. We're going to need that shooting, that spark off the bench, because I don't want to trust DeLon Wright and Pascal Siakam from behind the three-point line of the bench. I can trust Fred. Jakob Poeltl obviously is not going to shoot them. So in order to keep that spacing, keep everything on the go on the bench unit, CJ Miles needs to hit those shots. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. And he's got to step up. Or what's your other X factor?
And Pascal.
Okay.
But Pascal and OG, if 2 of those guys, when they're on the court, can guard the Bradley Beals, the LeBron James, and if we make it to the conference finals, the Ben Simmons of the world, if they can contain, guard, and work within the system and not take mental lapses, obviously you're not going to shut down those guys, but if they can guard those 2 and not be a complete zero on offense, so maybe, obviously we can't rely on Siakam's three-point shooting, but him being able to get to the rim and finish. OG, I think we can count on OG for a couple threes a game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. He's got the confidence now. He's been stroking his shot. He just needs to be aware that he has the green light. Okay, but if you heard it, Ben alluded to a 76ers making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. He has them beating the Heat and then beating the winner of the Celtics or Bucks. That'd be interesting to see. Now, in the comment box below, we're talking exclusively Raptors here today. And like I said before, we're not talking hypotheticals. We're not talking the could, the should, the would. We're not talking what might happen. We're talking what do you think will happen? All right. So Ben's claiming we will beat the Wizards. We will beat the Cavs. I'm not sure about the Cavs. I think we will beat the Wizards. Let us know what you guys think.
For sure. We'll have a breakdown of just specifically the Wizards series coming up, just to get in that nitty gritty as we get closer to that series. But I think this is going to be a good playoff run for the Raptors.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. As Riker said, let us know what you think about the playoffs in general. We're coming up, and we didn't really touch on the finals, which I think that's where we're going. Who would you rather see in the finals? Just hypothetical. Golden State, Rockets, Utah Jazz. I don't know, a realistic team in the finals.
Me?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
We'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah. But who'd you rather play? Rockets, Warriors, just off the top of your head.
Rockets.
Rockets?
Yeah, of course.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Hey, man. Clue it up.
Anyways. Yep. That's our breakdown of the playoffs of the Toronto Raptors. As we said multiple times. Let us know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, share. We got a lot of playoff content coming. Especially now that exams are winding up, we're going to really be pumping out these videos. You guys are the best. Stay tuned for all the stuff we're about to drop.
Cheers.